a very short talk about what is happening while the world is now talking about Mandela's legacy and death, and what we see today among some Muslims around the world is an attitude which is really problematic. Problematic for many reasons. The first one is a way of understanding Islam, a way of understanding our rules and our way of dealing with people of other faiths, which is reducing the teaching of Islam, and sometimes being very judgmental about people, and not only judgmental about their belief, but also judgmental in a way which is not acceptable in the way they were dealing with their life and their struggle and what they were striving for. So let us be clear from that point. First, there is something which is the starting point of our discussion as Muslims. Is yes, we believe as Muslims that the last message and the last messenger, peace be upon him, was the Prophet ﷺ, and then he came with the last message, and we understand that in the deen inda Allah Islam, that religion for us in the sight of God is Islam. Now, scholars from the very beginning understood that Islam is the generic term for all the different revelations throughout the history. And the thing is that this attitude towards God is to enter in God's peace and to accept the message and the messengers throughout history. So Islam at the time of Musa, peace be upon him, Moses was the Jewish message, and then in the time of Isa, peace be upon him, Jesus, it was Christianity, and then the last message was Islam. So it's not only the last message. What we think as Muslims is that the last message is confirming the messages before and is the ultimate revelation coming from God. Having said that, now we also understand that God wanted this diversity. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَجَعَلَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. If God had will, He would have made you one community. So pluralism and diversity is also rooted not only in history, in the message, is not only something that we have in our understanding of Islam, but it's a historical process as well as the way we have to deal with pluralism and with diversity. What does it mean, in fact? It means that what we have to try to do, and this is what is coming after the beginning of the verse, is a very important point here. لِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مِنْكُمْ شِرْعَةً وَمِنْهَاجًا. We gave to every single religion a specific path, a specific way, and a specific practice, a specific way of dealing, methodology and rituals, and the way we deal with our principles as well as our prohibitions and obligations, of course. So, with all this, what we understand is, from our understanding as Muslims, we, yes, sincerely believe that this is the ultimate truth and that our religion is the ultimate religion. Does it mean now that we have the right to come and to judge all the people by saying you are all going to hell and you cannot expect anything from God because the only truth is Islam, and if you don't acknowledge it, you are lost? This is, and was in fact said by some scholars in history. Now we have to be very cautious, because al-kufr is in fact a state which is not only not believing or disbelieving in God or in the ultimate message, is I know and I reject. What do the people know? We don't know. What is, and this is something which is important, the ultimate parameter on which God is going to judge is our sincerity and our God consciousness, when it is said, "Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum," knowing that at the beginning of our understanding of creation is وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We give dignity to human beings, and then the one who is reaching the deepest, the more profound dignity are the people with this God consciousness. Now, this sincerity, the secret, is between God and our heart, and this is why, as Muslims, we can and we should in fact think that this is the ultimate truth and that this is the ultimate message, and this is why we believe in it. but we have to suspend our judgment of others because we don't know what they know, we don't know about their sincerity, and we don't know where they are going to end up. We don't even know where we are going as person to end up because we don't know if we are saved, and we don't know. We know what is our life, and we have to be very, very much, cautious and full of humility when it comes to dealing with people. So this is the first understanding and the best. Instead of saying, oh, these people are going to hell, we are going to paradise, we don't know. Say, Allahu A'lam, God knows best. So the ultimate judgment is not ours. And this is between God and human beings, because He knows the secrets of hearts. Having said that, now, when it comes to people of other religion, and even from people from our own religion, we don't know that someone could have done, everything which is good in life, and then he is or she is so close to paradise, and one thing could bring her or him on the other side. The same for the people who apparently are doing bad. So it means that our life should be on that, very much, suspending the judgment, and with wisdom and with this kind of wise attitude, say, I can't speak about that. Now, if you have somebody who spent his life the way Nelson Mandela spent his life, who was so clear with his principles, who stood up from the very beginning by saying racism and the way white people and the way governments are treating us as black people is not acceptable, and we stand up for what is right. As a Muslim, I have to celebrate this struggle, because what he is doing is exactly what Muslims should do here in our understanding of Islam. We are sharing these principles, and it's because he stood up, and he had around him so many people from different faiths, from different religions, and he himself was very, very respectful. And in the name of this, we have to celebrate and say, yes, he was consistent. He spent more than 25 to 27, in fact more than that, in jail for his principles, for justice and dignity. And we have to say that this is a man who was faithful to his principles. When he went out of this, he didn't compromise on the principles. On many ways, not only within South Africa with this struggle, but the way he was dealing with his heart. I have so many stories from people who are very close to him saying he was so aware, so cautious, so attentive to needs, poor people, his own family, the way he was with his own grandsons are just unbelievable. He learned in jail, in his house arrest, what was the meaning of life. And when he was with the Mauritius president once, it was the time of praying during Friday, and the president felt that he had to stay because this was a state visit. He said, no, go pray and come back, I will wait for you. This was someone who was respectful of principles and faith, and not only he was strict with principles, but he was also respectful towards principles and the principles of the others and their rituals and their religions. Add to this that he stood up after being free and saying, South Africa is not going to be free as long as the Palestinians are not going to be free. He understood and he knew from the beginning that the people who were supporting apartheid in South Africa were also people supporting apartheid elsewhere, and there was a connection between the state of Israel and the racist way they were treated in South Africa, because what is happening in Israel is racism, is xenophobia, is thinking that Palestinians are not human beings with the same status and the same dignity. He knew that, he said it, he repeated it. For all these reasons, and even if he was not struggling for Palestinians only, but he was struggling for justice, we as Muslims, we have and we can, and it's a moral duty to say, Yes, we respect this man, we respect his struggle, and we ask God, because we don't know what was in his heart, to welcome him in his grace and to give him what he deserves, that he knows and we don't. It doesn't mean that we are going beyond the Islamic principles, all this very narrow understanding and some nasty statements coming from Muslims. Please, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, at least when someone is passing away, when someone is not with us, keep quiet. Because this is the Islamic principle as well. The Islamic principle is, if you don't want to speak for him, so keep quiet for God. In the name of God, in the name of what you don't know. And the best thing that you can do is when something left this life, when someone is now dead, your silence is the way you respect not only him, but yourself. In the name of Islam, in the name of God, in the name of your understanding of your principles. So I would say here that all what I heard in South Africa and then around the world, and people, insulting each other on Facebook, for example, and social networks, please. Tomorrow people are celebrating, and they have been celebrating him. We are not idealizing anybody. He's not an angel. He made mistakes, for sure. Now he was a human being, and he sent a message to humanity. Stick to your principles. Pay the price. Stand up. Never give up. Because this is a life struggle, and your dignity is the dignity with which you bear your principles, you struggle for your principles, and you never give up. So, yes, you can say, rest in peace. You can say and ask God to give him what he deserves and to welcome him in his grace, as we don't know what could happen with us. We don't know what could happen with our brothers and sisters in Islam, as well as our brothers and sisters in humanity. So, wisdom, dignity, and if necessary, silence. Wallahu a'lam wa a'la wa ahkam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.